Welcome to The Next Stage, the podcast where we turn up the house lights on the future of the venue and events management industry. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, this is your go-to source for the trends, innovations and best practices you need to create memorable experiences.
The amount of information and the amount of change and the amount of opportunity has never been greater.
We've literally broken down walls and we're looking at how can we create a more seamless experience.
There's customer demand for sustainability now.
On the forefront when it comes to venues that might not look like what you think of as a venue today.
Welcome back to The Next Stage. I'm Venue Management Association CEO Joel Edmondson, here today with Neil Wyatt, Manager Commercial Development at RAC Arena, to talk about the future of venue hospitality. Neil, welcome.
Thanks, Joel, and great to be here. Welcome to WA.
Thank you very much for having me. Maybe I'll start with just pumping up your tyres a bit about yourself as a bio at the beginning, and then talk about the venue, and then we'll get into it.
Great.
Neil, you are a seasoned sales and marketing professional with over 25 years of experience across the FMCG, telecommunications and entertainment industries. With a proven track record of driving growth and success, you have held key leadership roles at renowned organisations such as Coca-Cola, Optus and RAC Arena. Your expertise spans strategic partnerships, commercial development and brand management. Currently, you lead new commercial opportunities and manage partnerships at RAC Arena, fostering valuable collaborations that enhance business performance and audience engagement. Is this true?
It sounds impressive, doesn't it? I'll thank Marika, who I work with here at RAC Arena, for that kind intro. Got through a little bit in my career, and it's pretty close to what I've achieved and I guess what I know about.
Great. And it'll be good we are talking about RAC Arena today, but also be good to talk about other experiences that you've had along the way, because I know everyone in our membership would be really interested in learning about that.
Love to, Joel.
But we are at RAC Arena, which is proudly managed by ASM Global on behalf of Venues West. RAC Arena is the home of live entertainment in Western Australia. Located in the heart of the Perth CBD, the venue plays host to the world's best live music, sport, family and comedy. Family something and comedy. What is that? What is family and comedy?
What is family and
comedy?
What is
family?
Family could be considered Disney on Ice,
The
Wiggles.
Yeah. Nice.
Comedy, Russell Peters.
Great.
He's coming in the house in a few weeks' time.
Yep.
Sarah Millican here on Friday night. So, there are a couple of good examples.
G-rated things.
Yes and no. Comedy, it can vary.
Yeah.
But Disney on Ice is very much,
right.
And our friends of the Wiggles, they're very much G-rated.
Yeah.
But, we can get a little bit of a notch above G-rated for some comedians.
Great. And it says here that the Wiggles have actually played here since the doors opened in 2012, as well as the Rolling Stones, Beyonce, Jerry Seinfeld. It's also home of the Perth Wildcats, West Coast Fever and Perth's annual tennis tournament, United Cup. You are never far from the on-court action at RAC Arena. But we're here today to talk about things happening off the court, which is venue hospitality.
Yeah.
But before we talk about the venue itself, maybe we'll start by just having a chat about the broader role that corporate hospitality plays in the overall success of a venue.
Yeah. I liken that question to, I guess, an airline where you have different options of seating. You can be economy, premium economy, you can be business class, and obviously now, there's first class lounges and everything in between. And I think it's probably the closest analogy I can get to compare, the role that corporate hospitality plays. I think, we very much sit as a sort of business class proposition. We've got our standing floor, availability for concerts and those sorts of things. We've got, obviously our regular general admission seating as well. And then, you take that up to a different level when you pop up to, the corporate hospitality levels 2 and 3 here at RAC Arena. So, it certainly enhances, the experience on these levels, and it's obviously certainly popular in our West Australian sort of corporate hospitality community.
And the role that premium offerings are playing in entertainment globally is expanding quite rapidly as, more and more people post-COVID have more dispensable income at that level. How's the role of corporate hospitality itself changing and growing?
Yeah, I think one main thing that I've noticed certainly post-COVID, I want to say, is, there's certainly an appetite in that real small, medium business sector. We'll obviously go through a little bit of detail today, but we do a lot of surveys, collect a lot of data, read a lot of information on changing trends. Obviously, that's our job, is to, be at pace with what's going on. And we're lucky to be a part of ASM Global. We've got 390 plus venues around the world, so we're blessed with access to good data and also just good offerings that are evolving globally. So, we look at those and, we've certainly adopted a couple of those here, which we'll talk about a bit later on.
Well, let's talk about what's happening at the venue itself. Obviously, and we're actually sitting in the Crown Suite. Is that what it's called?
The Crown Concert Club.
So we're sitting in the Crown Concert Club at the moment. What prompted the renovation of these suites? What did you set out to achieve by investing so much? Yeah.
So I guess first and foremost to describe to our audience what we did, across the levels of our RAC Arena suites, levels 2 and 3. We started with, a lot of this work happened during COVID, and it was an exercise of, if we could have an influence on redesigning elements of the venue again, what would we do? And so from a commercial perspective, and research and all those things that I spoke about before, what we're seeing in our sister venues in the ASM Global Network, we saw that we had a gap in an offering that sat lower than the traditional 12 and 18 seat suites. And the data showed us that there was a real opportunity from 2 to 6 to 8 sort of seats there at a lower investment level, but still have enough of it to let's call it commercially be a sound decision. So that's something that really changed. And so what we did is two things that stood out is we needed a business lounge and we needed a members lounge. And put simply, we had 6 vacant suites up here at RAC Arena. We basically demolished them both end to end. The only thing that remains is the front facade that walks out to the balcony seats. So we created a business lounge that we titled Vantage. It's 6 tables that sit in a real premium, very premium, high-end kind of restaurant-style environment. And then we created a membership lounge that was initially called the Concert Club, but then, we then went on to partner with Crown to be now known as Crown Concert Club, and very much like an airline lounge where it's that mingle environment. There's food available. It's all inclusive, and then again a lot of airline analogies, but you move out to your same seats for every event, much like you would for an airline. So I guess that's the big change that we went through, the big renovation, just to help your viewers and guide them on. Viewers,
people who
listeners
listen with their eyes,
people who listen with their eyes. Apologies, everyone out there. So that's really what we saw in terms of that changing landscape and what we needed to do to keep in touch.
And I'm probably putting words in your mouth, but I assume that this is something that's becoming key to the competitive advantage of venues more broadly.
Absolutely, no question. We've got venues over here that were doing what we wanted to do, and we knew that there was an opportunity there. We only have to be present in one of these venues to see what was going on, and that was something that we needed to keep up with. So yeah, in short, yeah, we had to get into that 2 to 6 kind of seat demo.
And in as much as venues are competing for content, there's obviously also a limited pool of commercial partners and sponsors out there in the country that have limited budgets as well.
Correct. And that's what we wanted. And again, the research told us that small, medium business, for our venue, it was a stretch too far to grab, a 12-seat, 18-seat suite. And so we wanted our small, medium business the sector here in Perth essentially is to give them the same sort of access, but essentially at a lower entry level financially.
And that strikes me as a pretty great community engagement approach as well, because it's not just the top end of business that you're welcoming in.
You nailed it. Absolutely. It now provides them with premium access to our venue to comfortably sit on our suite level, essentially, the same seating, but just a different style, not having that exclusive suite where you've got your own guests and your own space. It's just a little bit different. But, we've found that from it's been received positively as a nice co-mingle environment for people to enjoy not only our food and beverages and service, but, of course, our content.
I decided to reach out to want to speak to you because of the experience I had when I came here. And I obviously, in the last 9-10 months I've been in this job, I've seen a lot of venues in Australia, but something about these suites really stood out to me. Why do they stand out for you?
Well, obviously we consulted. We actually got third-party consultants in to sort of, provide us with a brief based on the vision that we have in maintaining our premium environment, but also creating that premium membership in that business lounge environment. So that was done by a third party for us. And, it was very much, high quality furniture, the cutlery, the recessed lighting, you still had access to, the suite level suites, the suite level entry. So there was that, let's just call it what it is, that VIP entry type of experience as well. So that got massaged into the brief to them as well, which was really good. And ultimately we wanted to do things a little bit differently. The way we present and stage our catering is a little bit different in terms of, if you talk about Vantage, our business lounge, we've got a well-renowned chef here in Perth in Stephen Clark, and he's come in to help support and essentially help present the food on event nights. So he'll be there presenting food, preparing food in the Vantage Business Lounge and really creating that real theatre that sits behind the food rather than it coming out from a big kitchen and coming in. Similarly to our Crown Concert Club, we've got the chefs coming in. They're always in their chef's hat, which I love. It just looks great, and you've got an army of these, chefs that support us and present the food to our patrons. So that's what we wanted to deliver to our a new membership which we were creating here.
So obviously the hospitality landscape's evolving a lot, and obviously that surprise and delight element, bringing in well-known chefs, really raising the bar is super important. How did you ensure the renovated suites meet the needs of today's corporate clients, especially those smaller businesses you talked about before that might not have considered this an option for themselves?
Well, as mentioned, affordability. So just really allowing them to come in at 2, 4, 6 seat levels rather than, larger investments into a suite. So that was the sort of first thing there. It's also all inclusive. We're really trying to make it quite simple for our members here. So, in terms of setting budget, and we've all been a part of setting budgets for hospitality and different things in different walks of life, I'm sure, our number is our number. So, your membership costs X, and then that if we stage 70 events, 80 events or 90 events, it doesn't matter. That stays the same. So they know that they can budget, they can send guests, it's easy. They don't necessarily have to host. I can send you, Joel, your wife and kids and say, hey, come to the Crown Concert Club. It's all inclusive. It's great service. It's great food. Go and enjoy the show. And you don't necessarily need to be hosted by anyone. We do that end to end. So you got, if I play it back, it's affordable. You can set your budget. There's no surprises. The more content it is, the more value you get. We'll deliver great service to you. We take the hosting out of hosting for all these small, medium business folks. And I guess if you look at, the big shift and what I've found in my conversations with, certainly, we're full in both lounges at the moment, but certainly as we were coming in is, you speak about our events, we're always on here at RAC Arena. We've got tennis in the summer. We've got basketball through the summer. Basketball's just stopped. In 4 weeks' time, we're switching into West Coast Fever, another great tenant that we're blessed with here at RAC Arena. And we've got good content that rolls through the year. Disney on Ice just announced this morning, we've got 2 shows of, Gracie Abrams and Katy Perry and Tyler Creator and Rufus. And so we're providing good content that sits around all that as well. And that's what, certainly our team work hard at, on the edges of all this. So, and what we're finding with that is, I guess my point is it's become, and the big shift since COVID, it's become a real, for these small, medium businesses, it's become a real, staff engagement platform. So, celebrating milestones, congrats, Joel, on 5 years, or well done on winning that deal, Joel, those sorts of things. Thank you for 30 years of service, retiring here, have 4 seats to X, Y, Z. So that's really shifted because it does form again, that one-stop shop for these small, mini business owners going, I know I can comfortably reward, and it's something that is aspirational and people want. And that, these staff members of these businesses, they'll know they have seats, and, isn't that something to aspire to if there's a sales challenge or if there's anything to get you into making it up into Katy Perry. So I think that's really shifted as well. So it's become that, not just winning clients, retaining clients, it's very much become a staff and people engagement platform for these small, medium businesses.
What if the venue industry in 2032 was smarter, more connected, and more sustainable? Get ready to discover the future of the venue industry. Join us for the VMA's 32nd Asia Pacific Venue Industry Congress at the iconic ICC Sydney, June 22nd to 24th. Prepare for inspiring keynote speakers, interactive workshops, insightful roundtables, and the bustling exhibitor trade floor. Dive into the future of our industry, tackling critical topics like AI, the future customer, sustainability, and organisational well-being as we imagine the future of our venues. Network with industry leaders, forge valuable connections at vibrant social events, and celebrate excellence at the prestigious Venue Industry Awards and Gala Dinner. This is your chance to connect, learn, and lead. Tickets are on sale now. The future of the venue industry starts here. How does the design of these spaces facilitate everything that you've talked about today? So maybe, given that people aren't sitting in this room at the moment, do you want to describe what it's like in here and, how this place is set up to achieve your goals?
Yeah. Well, the first thing, for the listeners is you can actually jump on our website. We've got material and we've got QR codes, and you can actually take a virtual tour. Page 9 of our brochure, certainly for the Crown Concert Club. So feel free to jump on our website, because you can take a tour and view all our brochures and all that sort of paraphernalia. But in a nutshell, as the best I can describe it, honestly, for people who haven't experienced it, is really like an upmarket bar we're sitting in, right? Really, it's a premium bar environment that we're sitting in. As I said before, it's premium furniture, it's recessed lighting, it's beautiful mood lighting. We play music on event night, and so I can only really point you to the brochures because that gives you the best look and feel. But in terms of functionality, design, think airline lounge before you catch a flight. That's pretty much it, where you're in and you can hydrate yourself, we'll feed you, and everything in between. That's probably the best way I can describe it in terms of functionality.
But one of the more high-end ones.
Absolutely.
Not like the watered-down versions that we're increasingly
Joel.
switch up around the country.
Yes. No, we think honestly, our members get good bang for their buck for not only what we deliver in terms of, the Crown Concert Club Lounge and the Vantage Lounge, but also the content that we provide and more importantly sits behind it all.
So it's great to be in a position to be able to have a conversation where we're celebrating the success of it, but there would have been phases through the renovation that would have been challenging. What needed to be overcome to get to this point?
Well, it was actually opposite. It was all sort of rubber stamped and designed and appointed to tender, through COVID. And then on the back of COVID, we shut down 6 suites over a 3-month period, end to end. It felt like it could have been longer. So, apologies to the assets team if it was longer here. But it very much, we had a sprinkling of events that came out of COVID that we were still renovating. But we actually launched the product on, I remember it, 16th of November 2022 for Dua Lipa. That was the hard open. And so, we were sort of blessed to renovate and have it all done in quite a short time after, the mass event reopen and all that sort of stuff. So we kind of dodged a bullet there.
But in terms of the journey to having such a slick product in terms of the experience, what's that journey like? I mean, was it a thing of like, well, we know exactly what it's going to be that we're delivering, or has it been iteratively improved over time as you've learnt things about what works and what doesn't work in terms of
well, as I said, we
experience?
quite diligently survey quite hard, and I know our venue owners service survey us similarly. So, we actually put ourselves probably under more scrutiny by surveying, I guess, if you want to say it. And so, that's quite regular. I think there's an annual one with our suite level base as well. Obviously, early on, we took feedback and we were speaking to people and obviously experiencing events. We weren't quite full when we started. So, we took feedback. There was, I can't even think, but in terms of, delivery, it's been quite smooth. It's, making sure, I guess the biggest thing is just making sure your food quantities are there at the start of the event. And we're very lucky here because we don't have a third party caterer here, Joel. So, it's the guy and girl that runs the store, owns the store. It's very much Chef Stuart Montgomery, who deserves a shout out. He's here up on suite level. He's watching the food. He's often he'll get his hands dirty and he'll be serving the food if he sees there's food that's not being consumed. He'll actually walk the Crown Concert Club especially and get around and, talk to patrons, which is fantastic. And again, another nice touch that we think he delivers. So it's probably been a bit more of that rather than anything else, because in terms of, ingress and egress, we're quite familiar with that from a suite level point of view. So yeah, but everything else was brand new, air conditioning, everything that you see was like a new home.
And how long ago is it now?
We opened it on November 2022. So we're coming up 2.5 years, call it.
Still feels basically new looking
Totally
around in here. Still smells new. That's always a plus.
Well, we put a lot of elbow into our presentation services team. Again, just, they don't, no stones unturned in terms of, keeping the place looking great. And even if we call them up on event night for whatever reason, a spillage, whatever, they're straight up supporting us. So, yeah, love them. They're a great team.
So there's a bigger picture here historically, in the sense that the renovation coincided with the venue's 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
How did that milestone influence the vision for the project?
Well, it was good timing, Joel, because, we'd come out of COVID and we, I think 8 November 2022 was our 10 years and we opened this on 16 November of the same month. So we were blessed with perfect timing. It sat in the relaunch of our venue back into the market, very much so, because it was a heavy period through there, October, November, December, when we did, we officially relaunched the venue. We were 10 years. We had this new hospitality product in the Vantage Business Lounge in our Crown Concert Club. So you couldn't have timed it any better for that. And it really showed the market, the people of WA, our patrons, that, we're growing. We haven't stood still. We've come out of COVID and we're looking at new initiatives to engage. As I said before, in particular, the small medium business, sector of Perth.
And you those clients, both the long-term suite holders and the new ones, like what's the most memorable feedback you've had from some of them? Can you think of some incidences, even if you can't name people, where there's been a particularly positive response?
Yeah, it's probably two parts that I can answer to on things that I remember. I've been blessed to have engaged and talked to a lot of people as a part of being a part of the RAC Arena network and those with which I engage in industry. So very fortunate from that point of view. I guess start from a business point of view. for me, it's when our partners, and our members, they're winning or they're retaining business, and they're doing that through leveraging our property by inviting or sending, key contacts or whatever the case may be, influences into business decision making here as a part of the process, the sales process, if you want to call it. So, and then they say, I won X, and it's basically paid for my Crown Concert Club membership. Thanks again. So for me, from a business point of view, you love hearing that because it is delivering for them on a business level. They're leveraging. It's one small part. Let's not make any mistake. Winning is based on good service and product. But from that whole network and relationship building point of view, which is a little sprinkle of goodness that sits in the sales process, we played a part in that. And for me, I love hearing that. And it's especially pleasing to hear it when, some of our small, medium business partners have picked up a bigger contract, all those sorts of things. So from a business point of view, that ROI, that, winning business out of it, great to hear. From an emotional point of view, for me, it's the community. It's the community stuff. And, in a past life here, I worked for a large sort of FMCG company. You referenced Coca-Cola, sorry. So that's out there. We had product here and premium hospitality product here. And for me, the most rewarding element was staff reward and that community partner engagement. I really got a buzz out of that. We used to host kids from Indigenous foundations. We raffled off and made large, with the support of RAC Arena and the approval of RAC Arena, I must say, which is required. But, things like, gala auctions and those sorts of things, and, really supporting those community initiatives and providing access to people who may not necessarily have been in that corporate environment or in a business network environment to provide and have them have that access to those sorts of events. For me, yeah, that's pretty special. So there's a lot of those sorts of examples from that community partner space especially, which, really proud to be a part of.
I'm not sure all of our listeners would automatically connect corporate hospitality with being able to tell a feel-good story about community. And though the combination of those two things, I think, is really, really important to, leveraging your investment across every aspect of the venue to support the community as well. Yeah.
And look, we're blessed with a suite. Obviously, RAC Arena, ASM Global is our suite. And, quite often, we have an extensive, and we put a lot of work into our community partner program, majors like Telethon, and we've got the Poly Pharma Foundation, just trying to recall others. Might have to edit that bit there. Sorry. I've just actually gone blank. Sorry.
That's all right.
We've got the Salvos. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Salvation Army and others. So, we'll often pass through a suite to them to allow Telethon to bring Telethon kids in. Salvos to reward volunteers or whatever the case may be. So for us, that's just as important as well as, same as business, hosting networks, clients, rewarding staff. So same thing. So yeah, it's a really nice part of it, I guess.
How do you see this space evolving in the next 5 years?
Yeah, well, I can only look to what we're doing, and again, looking across our ASM Global network around what our brothers and sisters are doing across the network. And, we, as RSN, we've actually got 2 more major products coming. So we've obviously done Vantage and Crown Concert Club in the last 2 years. We're actually building on some of that success for one of the products. And we're also looking at something new, which we've adopted from a sister venue in our network. And hopefully we'll be able to go to market on that in June, July. So I can't go too much into it. But again, it is very much that, that sort of smaller, 2 to 6 membership space where that's the growth, that's the opportunity. And so we're really tapping into that at the moment.
And is part of that opportunity connected to the sort of broader zeitgeist around people wanting more personalised and intimate experiences, do you think?
Yeah, well, experiences is a really good reference point. Yes, because what we're finding is, and this is a part of hospitality changing as well, is, we've, as a part of survey data, but we've also, we read some articles in the last couple of weeks around external third-party surveys that's telling us around, I think it's Gen Z, and it's not just about attending the event, it's all the experiences that sit around it. And so one thing which we've done, but we're actually putting a bit more elbow into is, event day activations and those sorts of things. We've got some really big partners that really elevate our event experience. And if I can share a couple of those examples, we've got RAC, obviously our naming rights partner, but they also have their own lounge that sits downstairs and opens early, 30 minutes before show, so our patrons can get in early, have a drink, and then be ready for doors open. Quite often you'll see them activating. It might be a glitter station at Katy Perry, it might be a hoops contest at the Wildcats or even West Coast Fever. So they really provide, chances to win and really enhance that experience. We've got Hyundai who, feature a car at our main entry, but again at Kylie, they had a little, makeup station, and, all the patrons were coming in, seeing it, and, surrounded by, brand new, beautiful Santa Fe, they're getting makeup done, and just, and there's recall there that sits with that. So our brand partners, Bank West are forever, supporting us. They do donate to telethon initiatives, Asahi Lifestyle Beverages, and our partner CUB. We've established a Pirate Life bar at the back of the venue, and there's always chances to win, or there's, again, activations going on back there to engage. So sort of different parts of the venue, our brand partners are enhancing that, and that's been a really big shift. And, we're seeing more and more data telling us how important, that experiential experience is for brands. And that's our point of difference here at RAC Arena. If I think about what we do on suite level, and the original question was around how do we enhance the premium hospitality experience, really good example in the last couple of weeks where we hosted Kylie Minogue. Kylie was here, and it was a Saturday night, and, a lot of people coming in from our precinct in the CBD, all excited, everyone was really well dressed for the occasion. And we put 2 glitter stations on both suite levels, and we had a couple of roaming drag queens just for a bit of fun as well. And there were lines of people. So people were coming out. They weren't even going to their suite, to Vantage, to Crown Concert Club. There was literally lines waiting to have, the glitter, just a little splash of glitter that went with their outfit, and then, had drag queens just having great fun with them, getting photos and those sorts of things. And, that's where we see, I don't know if we see that as much in sort of other venues, but it's one thing that we've done, but we continue to invest a lot more in just to really enhance that event experience. So I think we're a fun venue. We create memories, great experiences, and that's what we want to keep, really supporting not only our patrons, but also, our members on suite level.
Great. So we're almost out of time. What can we say in closing about amazing experiences and memorable moments that are going to be made in the next few months or year here? What are the things coming up that you're excited about?
Are you talking like events or?
Sure, but even in the suites themselves, I mean, what are the experiences that people can come in and have here that stand out to you?
One thing which we haven't spoke about is, our catering team and what they do. So if we have, an artist come in and from the US or from Canada or from Germany or UK, we had Kylie Minogue in here recently, and, chefs put a bit of elbow into local. And so it was, Shark Bay, prawn cocktails. It was, WA brie cheese. It was Treat and Farm beef, beef fillets. And so they always make a point of, really a real nod to either showcase WA or showcase a bit of a nod and have something different in the menus. So you'll see that with, Gracie Abrams coming, Cyndi Lauper, Russell Peters. You'll see that on the menu. So that's our little catering nod. You'll see us continue to, not only us, but our brand partners continue to, provide those great event activations that shoulder, pre-show especially. So you'll see that, and you'll see great content. Things I love seeing. I love, we have Country Week down here for netball, and you'll see a whole bunch of people come from the regions, and Fever rightfully time an event for that. So I love seeing that as well. So seeing our regional friends come down and engage and have a weekend and come in and watch a game of netty in here as well. So there's lots. It's as I said up at the start, Joel. It's just there's something on every month for someone. Might not be for everyone, but there'll be for someone. I mean, it was Tuesday night in Perth last night. Falling in reverse. We're here. Very much a black T-shirt crowd, and we filled up the precinct with 8,000-9,000 people. That's good for our CBD partners as well. It's good for our local restaurants, our local bars, and we've got a place to play there. So I love that too. I love that, and we're friends with a lot of them, and they have it in the diary, and they know they put extra staff on, and that's just good for the economy. It's good for our small medium. I know we've probably spoken about that a lot today, but it's true. Like, we're really supporting our small medium business friends from a local revenue perspective, I guess, as well. So there's lots to be proud of.
Lots of powerful learnings in there and great stories. Neil, thanks very much for being with me today.
Love to have you back, Joel, and thanks for visiting RAC Arena.
Fantastic. See you next time on the next stage.